the great philosopher Aristotle, was once asked, how does one make it to Mount Olympus? You know, how does someone make it to Mount Olympus? And it is said that Aristotle simply replied, by ensuring that each step you take is in the direction of Mount Olympus. And I thought that was so profound. Because how can you not make it there? You're heading in that direction. You just line up, you line your sights, you acquire your target, and then you approach your target. You keep walking, you keep moving, you keep improving, you outlast, you keep going, you keep growing, right? How can you not make it there to your own Mount Olympus in life? By putting one foot in front of the other. So many times I've seen a snail crossing a street, or a small spider, or, you know, a slug, or something very slow, or even a turtle. And you look at the direction that they're going, and you're like, wow, it's going to take all day for them to get over there, the pace that they're going. But are they thinking about that? Are they thinking about that pace? Are they in a rush? Are they in a race? No. They embrace the pace that they're going. They realize each day they are growing, right? So there was a show that I used to go on, and I was a clapper in the audience. Back when I was living in Los Angeles, we would go on these shows. Hey, much love. And you would be in the audience for these game shows like Whose Line Is It Anyway? And The Price Is Right, and, you know, all kinds of shows. And there was one show called The $1 Million Mile. And it's with Tim Tebow. And there were these athletes, you know, these men and women who would be competing against these super athletes, like mega athletes, right? But they would have a big old obstacle course that they would have to go through. And it would involve swimming and climbing and jumping and hurdling and just soaring to these great heights of this big old obstacle course. And they would give them a big old head start. But the whole obstacle course would be 1 mile long in total. But if they completed the whole course, they got the $1 million. If they were able to hit the button at the top before the athlete would get there and beat them to the time, or beat them to the top. And I remember there was this girl, her name was Amy, and man, none of us thought that she would do much. Like, she was just so happy. She didn't seem like she had the tigress in her. She didn't seem like she had that killer instinct, that spirit of, I'm gonna get this done in her, right? But she was just happy-go-lucky. She was just joy-filled. She was just kind of grateful to be there, just happy to be here, you know? We didn't know her motivations or her inspirations for wanting the $1 million, but, you know, you can imagine. And, you know, they asked her the questions, and she answered the questions, and then they said, all right, let's get ready. Let's get set. On your mark, go. And she took off. And I remember her pace was like she was just booking it. She turned into an animal. She turned into a completely different person. And it was like witnessing a machine just going. And even the athlete at the front, even the super athlete that was waiting, kind of pacing back and forth, a little bit antsy. She was kind of getting a little bit nervous, the lady she was competing against. But then it came time. She got through the swimming obstacle course, and the lady took off after her. And the crowd is just like, go, Amy, go. And so she gets to this second part of the obstacle course, which was this huge tower. And this tower was in a simulated rainy environment. It wasn't even raining that day, but they simulated rain in this environment. We're in Hollywood, right? They could do anything. TV magic, movie magic. So they had torrents of rain just pouring down on her as she's climbing up this big structure, this big building. And she has to make her way all the way to the top with slippery handholds and footholds and try to make her way up and just get to the top. And we're just watching her on the screen. And we're like, oh my God, she's gonna do it. And the athlete the other girl had already gotten through the swimming obstacle course and the other obstacle course, and she was right on her heels, but she was at the bottom of the tower, and Amy was nearing the top of the tower. And she was just climbing. It was like she was just going through it like water. I was like, oh my God, go Amy, go! Go Amy, go! Go! And she made it to the top. And she hit the button and she locked it in, and the crowd went crazy. And at the end, they asked her, they said, Amy, oh my God, we all watched you on the screen. We all watched you climb that tower. And I mean, you had a beast on your heels. She was right there with you, but you were not deterred. You were not distracted. You were not denied. You still slapped the button. What was going through your mind in that moment? What did you find deep down in that moment that got you there? And Amy said, and I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this. She said something so key. She said, I just took it one step at a time. One little bar at a time. I wasn't even looking up. I wasn't looking down. I wasn't looking all around. I was just looking right where I was. And she said, like, this was when it hit me. She said, when I got to the top, I didn't even know I was at the top. I said, whoa. Okay. She said, when I got to the top, when I finally reached the top, I didn't even know I was already there. She had no idea she made it because she was so focused on taking it one step at a time. She redefined, she restructured the paradigm. It was no longer, oh my gosh, I have so much far to go. It was just taking it real slow. So how can we apply this in our lives? How can we find this principle to be so powerful that can magnify everything that you find significance for yourself, you find fulfillment for yourself, when you think that you're not going fast enough, when times get tough, when times get rough, right? How can you reach down deep inside and realize with your real eyes that one step at a time can do the trick? That there's not a beat that you would miss if you are in the moment. And this dream is for you, my friend. You own it.